Welcome to Constantly Calibrating. I am your host, Brad. This week we have a slightly larger crowd with us, as we have four of us here. Joining us back for the first time in a couple weeks is Ryan. How you doing, bud?
What's up, bitches?
What's up, bitches, indeed. All right, and as usual, we have the other two. We have the Jays. We have Josh and Justin. Guys, how's dinner?
Dinner's great.
Yeah, my dinner's lovely. Got a lovely homemade Kung Pao chicken.
Yum.
I finished it before the cast because I'm classy.
I'm trying, but there's so much food here. I made myself way too big of a portion.
Celebrating the year of the cock.
He celebrates that every year.
Gotta love that cock.
So, we've got a kind of a variety show tonight. We're still heavily centered gaming, but we're gonna just kind of jump into it. Small anecdote I saw a couple hours ago, and I was just amused by. They started filming on the young Han Solo Star Wars title today, and their clapboards say Star Wars Red Cup, and I had to giggle at that. So, if you haven't seen that,
It's their working title for it is Star Wars Red Cup. My favorite thing about it was the tweet that was put out showing that all it said was Han first shot. And it's like, that's the greatest tweet you could ever put out for the first shot of that movie. Like, right there and then is the moment I'm like, yep, they understand how to do this movie. I'm sold.
indeed.
Very happy about that.
So we have a main topic tonight, and we're going to talk about regrettable gaming achievements. But do we want to touch on any of this other stuff first that I've got on the dock, or do we want to?
Yeah, let's touch on a few things.
All right.
We could how about this? Let's go. We used to be very heavy on the Doctor Who stuff, especially since we used to run the After Who podcast.
Did.
So let's just touch really quickly. It was only just announced like 2 hours ago that Peter Capaldi is leaving Doctor Who. Next series, ending with, I guess, the Christmas special they'll do, is going to be the end of his run, which they've been kind of rumoring that it'd be the end of his run every series since the first one.
Yeah. I'm excited because I don't hate him, but I don't really enjoy him. I stopped watching when he started. Like, I watched half of his first season and I just lost interest. He's not interesting like the last two have been.
I thoroughly enjoy him as the Doctor. I watched this first series through the Nick Frost Christmas special. I thoroughly liked him. I just still have never warmed up to Clara, but the thing is, at least she had chemistry with Matt Smith. She has had none, as far as I felt, really, with Capaldi, and it just wore the show thin for me. And then I didn't really stop watching due to a choice. I stopped watching because I just ran out of ways to watch it until, it pops up on Hulu as a full thing. I can't watch it. And then when it finally happened, I was like, oh, I'll get around to that.
I think Amazon's the only place we can even watch it now.
Is it Amazon now?
I think it's Amazon. He's not fidgety, and he's pretty gruff. And like you said, I got probably like maybe halfway through the first season and just lost interest. He couldn't keep it up. He just doesn't have that charismatic little pop that Matt Smith and David What's-His-Face have. Sorry, I got text right and all that.
So, yeah, but he brings that dry humor. He bring it back to kind of how Starro is. Like, he's an old man, is kind of crotchety, and he's not looking to be your friend. So that's what I loved about Capaldi's Doctor.
Agreed.
And I feel like it suffered, though, because of him. Like, I don't think that the Doctor Who, fan wave was burnt out. I think that a lot of people didn't like him after the last two Doctors.
Well, the last two Doctors was, the boyfriend Doctors, so everybody was, flying to him.
Well, that's the thing, is a lot of the fans, and I hate judging fandoms, but a lot of the fans who hopped in the David Tennant, Matt Smith eras were not fans of Doctor Who for anything other than David Tennant, Matt Smith, these very pretty, quirky guys. And they left when they kind of lost that hottie, essentially.
Yeah, I hardly ever see anyone post about Doctor Who anymore, so...
It's definitely far less than it used to be. I actually don't have to worry about spoilers the way I used to. It's like, I actually know nothing that's happened in,
I still don't know what the deal is with Missy, or... Is that her name, Missy?
I know that, but...
One thing that you can look at is, the merchandising for it. You don't see any kind of Peter Capaldi things out there, but you see Tennant and Smith stuff everywhere still.
Yeah,
all the time.
Yeah, but that's because like their toys mostly look bad, as toys do when you try to make a little plastic figure of them. And then, like, you make David Tennant and Matt Smith. Okay, they come out okay. Matt Smith has a clay face and David Tennant is David Tennant, so even making part of him is fine. You get Capaldi, it's like, oh, God.
He looks like Rick Sanchez.
Yeah.
A little bit, but... So the question now is, how long until we get them announcing that Moffat's leaving the show?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just had a terrible thought, but...
What's up?
Clara, I need you to stick these up your butthole, Clara. I need you to stick them way up there.
I would honestly pay to see that redone. Yep, I approve. I'm amazed that's actually not been done, if it hasn't been. What I was to say was, I want to know how long until Stephen Moffat is announced no longer as a showrunner, because I like most of his run, but they need to switch up showrunners in the show. And then I wonder who's going to be the new Doctor, what direction they're going to go, because going with a woman at this point seems like they're the obvious thing they're going to do. So.
They will go with some kind of minority.
Probably, yeah. And at this point, I'd like to see that. Anyways, just if for ignoring inclusiveness and diversity, I just want to see something different at this point. So just for that sake alone.
Fair
but
enough.
No Americans.
Yes, because
no.
Never. So tomorrow, we're actually going to be having some kind of event in Japan for Final Fantasy's 30th year anniversary celebration. I don't know if it's going to be streamed or not, but they're going to be announcing their anniversary plans, which rumors have included like a massively expensive crystal collection that has every game all the way through 15. And like a massive soundtrack, a big case. We have nothing confirmed, but it's probably going to be nice and limited and only available on Square Enix store, like everything they do now.
Didn't they show like a mock-up of that a couple months back, and we were all like, "Oh my god, we gotta have it!"
There was a list.
Yeah, there was like a rumored mock-up kind of thing, and there was also like somebody had made an image, but it was never proven one way or the other if that was a real image.
But I mean, if I could get that, especially if I could get it on PC, I'd be very happy. I'll take it on PS4, but all the games in one place on a current system would be really nice. Just convenient.
I would agree on that. I just don't want to spend the money on it personally. It's definitely something I'd be very interested in. I've been wanting desperately to replay 8 and 9 for like the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very tempting. As long as it's a version that's proven to run in this capacity.
That's the thing. I mean, Vita has pretty much all of them,
and I own actually all of them. I own all of them on PS3/Vita.
I think
but I would need a Vita.
The biggest part of the rumor was that they would finally be converting 3 and updating it.
Mm-hmm.
It would be the first true English release. So, I don't know. We'll find out tomorrow, either via live stream or something else. Also, I'm going to throw this in here. Live streaming tomorrow at like 11 a.m. I don't remember if it's Eastern or Pacific. They're announcing more stuff for Elder Scrolls Online, which everything's pointing at a Morrowind expansion, or Vardenfell. Which a lot of us, our generation, that's where we really jumped into the Elder Scrolls franchise. That might be enough to pull me in. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you right.
I own it. Like, Elder Scrolls is the MMO that I don't understand why more people don't play. I don't understand why I don't play it.
Well, for me, it was because the beta was such unmitigated garbage. It was just not a fun game.
It was, but it's a solid game now, by all accounts.
I mean, I get that, and it just like it burned me so early. And again, we already know I have this aversion to MMOs. As like the older I get, the less I like MMOs.
That's fair. I mean, I'm barely playing anything in an MMO right now too. So,
but with like my thoughts, so you mentioned for pretty much all of us, we started with Morrowind for the most part. I think that's fairly accurate. I'm going to tell you my overriding memory of Morrowind. The first playthrough I ever did had no clue how the game worked. I read that you leveled up by doing stuff. Immediately got those scrolls for jumping. And used them, and I don't even remember. Starting with Oblivion, things like got leveled off. You really couldn't do ridiculous shit, but Morrowind just let you could just do ridiculous things. So I got that, had immediately read like a thing how to duplicate that so you could use it over and over and over again and just keep boosting your acrobatics skill over and over and over again. And yeah, I jumped to the fucking moon and died, and it actually freaked out and crashed that save. And corrupted it. That was my first Morrowind experience. My second one was, I want to make weapons, which is why now every game that I'm allowed to make weapons, I get a silver weapon and I name it Cunt Silver. Because that was the name my cousin's little brother, Kunti Silver, but it Cunt Silver. And that's the name he came up with, and that's why to this day, every time I can name weapons, that's what I do. Wait for me to stream Mass Effect Andromeda, people, because there's gonna be a sniper rifle with that name.
Yeah, Morrowind. I had a very similar experience with the jumping, not leveling jumping, but like once you leave that first town and you're just walking down the road, and all of a sudden this guy just falls out of the sky and dies in front of you, and you pick up his stuff and you read his little book and he's like, "Oh, I figured out how to travel great distances," and then he has like a little scroll that fortifies your acrobatics by like 5,000, and you use it and you jump and you go all the way to the other side of the map and you die. You jump so high that the fall damage kills you.
What's the thing? Like, I actually, the same thing, like, that's the first, like, holy crap, what is that? And the thing is, I did it. I don't know how I hit it, but there's like a small, just little puddle, just good enough in just the middle of the land. I'd somehow just landed right dab in there. I'm like, what the hell? And of course, I did it again and died, but...
I know a lot of people who actually did not know that killed you. They were like, yeah, it's just a cool thing, you jump, and then I landed perfectly fine, and they just had no idea that it was supposed to, it was a trolling method.
It's one of the earliest practical jokes created by designers that I remember encountering.
Oh, yeah.
That's actually my first memory of Elder Scrolls 2, except for it has nothing to do with the jumping potion there. It's the same guy, but all I remember is playing it with Dan and Aaron, not his wife Aaron, strangely enough, but that's a different story. And the first thing she was like, "Wait, we can take anything?" "Yeah, we can take anything." "Take his pants." And it's still an inside joke to this day. Take his pants. And she, like, when she played, she would take everyone's pants. That was just what she did. And it was the funniest thing ever to me.
Stuff like that's actually going to tie in really largely to our regrettable gaming achievements, by the way. That'll actually tie in very strongly to that topic.
I'm glad I brought this up.
Nothing.
I'm really glad I brought this up.
No, it's a good topic, so why don't we move into that then?
Alright, so this was your baby.
So, okay, just to explain it, I was listening to a podcast. Let's just assume it was a kind of funny thing, because that was just kind of been that and Rooster Teeth's Always Open podcast have just been kind of my bread and butter when I take the kid to school.
Right.
Turns out my son loves Colin Moriarty's voice and speech patterns, like to the point that if I'm playing anything and Colin's talking, he gets really like contemplative, and then if I turn it off, he gets really upset with me. So it's just something I've been listening to a lot more than usual, but I don't remember why. But anyways, I thought of the N64. I thought of Shadows of the Empire for some reason, and I started thinking about how I used to play Shadows of the Empire. And the way I used to play that game was I beat the whole game. I got to, and it's actually a game that falls under that. I wish that I could see how long I actually played this game, because it's ridiculous. I got to the final level, which is the Skyhook level, discovered after like 2 or 3 playthroughs of doing the same thing over and over again, that the Millennium Falcon's flying around, which led to me spending about 4 hours one day with my cousin just following the Millennium Falcon, just shooting it in the ass, just relentlessly, just going after it over and over and over again, because reasons I don't really know. I just became determined that I had to kill it. And my favorite thing is somebody, I asked this in one of a group, who literally reminded me of what the exact quote is, and it's just Han repeatedly saying, "Dash, what are you doing? I'm on your side." And it was just 4 hours of that. I was still young enough that I didn't actually know about indestructible objects, so I was determined I could destroy it at some point. I'd actually change the ending of the game. Like, I don't really understand the reasoning behind it, but I did that, and I didn't just do it once. I did that, like, anywhere from 1 to 4 hours on, like, a dozen different occasions. I've done it as recently as, like, 6 years ago. Because I just decided I wanted to see what was so fun about it.
You finally do it, and you get that message from Metal Gear Solid where it's like, you have created a time paradox!
Well, it's like the same thing as we were talking about with Morrowind. You just go kill an NPC that's part of the main quest. Oh, there's something heard in the distance, like the land has changed forever, or
now
whatever the hell the message. Yeah, you done fucked up. And yeah, so it just had me thinking about that, and also that other achievements would fall under Shadows of the Empire as well. Doing the Hoth level and just playing that over and over and over and over and over again relentlessly, even though nothing changed. Which is funny, I could play the same level over and over again my entire childhood. My adult life, I can't play anything new. Like, without getting bored out of my mind.
Wow.
I actually have one with Shadows of the Empire as well. It's on the Hoth level where you're trying to go through the base, and you come to the very first boss. And you just got the homing rockets and everything, and it's you versus an AT-ST. And, like, I played this game, went around, killed everybody, everything was great. Get to this AT-ST, I cannot kill it, because I am shooting it in the legs. You're supposed to aim up and hit, like, the big part of it, and I just shoot it in its little chicken legs. I waste all my rockets on its chicken legs and get to, like, 92%. And I keep dying. I get so frustrated, and I just go, fuck this game! And then I read a Tips and Tricks magazine. It had kind of like a walkthrough, and I was like, fuck my life.
One of my earliest experiences with like online forums, like the old days of alt dot, whatever, days of news groups, was because of confusion how to take down the AT-ATs in Shadows of the Empire, and it was literally someone just saying, "Go watch the fucking movie." That's all it said. And the scariest part about that is it worked. It clicked in my brain how to complete the level, and I felt like the dumbest person ever. But like that was one of my earliest internet forum things, just dealing with a person who had no time for people. It was just awesome.
I think I've actually done something similar. If I remember correctly, GoldenEye, I would rush through the facility level to Trevelyan before the gas.
Oh, yeah.
I would just pour my entire magazine into his face because I knew he was going to be an asshole and turn on me, so I figured I could change the game by killing him early. And that was probably my earliest remembrance of indestructible objects, because he would just go...
Oh, yeah, no, I probably spent 12 to 20 hours just trying to kill him at earlier points in the game, and replaying the final level of that game as well. But, like, I became obsessed with doing, like, different things, and, like, GoldenEye was exactly the same thing. GoldenEye and Shadows of the Empire are the two games that I want to know how many hours I sunk into it, because I know I probably spent, 5 hours doing actual story stuff in those respective games, if that much, and then 200 hours doing just the stupidest shit imaginable.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was just the classic day and stuff. Justin, do you have any one of these?
God, I don't know if I would count it as an achievement, but...
Well, again, achievements are a loose term here.
Ryan brought up Metal Gear, and, that's Metal Gear Solid 3 you're talking about. Metal Gear Solid 2 is actually the end of the game, and it was the point where, like, everything gets all crazy and crap. I'm like, oh, what the hell's going on? And then, like, you get the part where, like, you're waiting in the hallway for Snake to come.
Mm-hmm.
Except it never happened. I'm like, what the hell is happening? The game's not progressing. It's like, did my game really glitch out? So I replayed the entirety of Metal Gear Solid to get back to that point in a record speed, I think. Just to find out, it's like, oh, you just gotta wait a little longer and actually test both doors, and then he comes like, oh.
I love stuff like that for older games where, like, you could literally reach a point that at least you believe the game is impassable, and you just have to start over.
That's when I realized how much of a troll Kojima is.
Oh, it's just ridiculous. Tree Plum, you got some issues going on over there. So our buddy Thad, who wasn't able to make it for the show tonight, had his own playing Dead Rising 2. So him and his buddy were trying to recruit the poker survivors. They had to beat them at their game first. Now, and he said, so they spent like 4 hours just trying to beat them, just doing this over and over again. Couldn't figure out what to do before they finally had the bright idea to have one player drop out and give the other all the money. And like, I've never played Dead Rising 2, so this means almost nothing to me. But he seemed very impressed by his idiocy. So I thought I would read it off.
I got a really fun one too. It's another Metal Gear one. So Metal Gear Solid 1, you end up going down this nice long hallway, and then you see him, the guy with the gas mask. You see Psycho Mantis, and what comes up next is one of the greatest boss fights in video game history. It's great things. He reads your memory card and can like predict the future, and he takes control of Meryl, and it's just all sorts of crazy stuff. And you're supposed to, in order to beat him, you're supposed to take your controller and plug it into the second controller slot. Otherwise, he can read your mind and he knows your moves. And every time you shoot at him, he moves out of the way. Every time you punch at him, he flies to the other side of the room. I missed that memo. I actually beat Psycho Mantis without doing the controller trick.
Holy crap! How long did that take you?
For fucking ever. Like, I was so disheartened, and like. I don't know if I just stopped. I was frustrated, so I guess I stopped listening to the codec calls that were coming in, because I mean, obviously I didn't do this in one try. It took forever, and so I never heard Campbell say, "Do this. It's how you beat him." I think I beat him to death with my bare hands. Is how I ended up doing it, because I just ran out of the FAMAS bullets and the little pistol bullets. Like, I think I was throwing flash grenades and just like trying to kill him and not kill the girl. And so finally, I just went and just punched him in his face until his little psychic ass was dead.
Huh.
See, I'm trying to think of...
Could you do it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a game that... I think everybody experienced this who had a PlayStation, or probably a 64 as well, that you didn't have a memory card, and you had to do that thing where you just leave the game on, you have to come back.
Oh, God. Yes.
I can't remember which games I did that with, though.
Dan and I would do that with Vandal Hearts. We would rent it, and we would beat it in a weekend, and we would leave it on. It was really, really infuriating that one time we brought it to my house. We brought the PlayStation to my house, and we went to sleep, and after we went to sleep, my dad came in the room and turned the TV and the PlayStation off. And we were like halfway through the game, and I was so pissed.
Yeah, that's, the worst part, or when power goes out or something like that. But no, I gotta agree, because I know a few times that this might have been on Nintendo, too, at the time, too. Like, and that was like a family place where it was, so someone just comes like, and watch TV, and just turn it off. Why is this on? Horrible. By the way, talk about actual achievements. One I'm not proud of is actually playing Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on Xbox 360. Because it gives odd-ass achievement scores. I have 8. Yep. How the hell do you not end achievements with 5 or 0?
Well, that was one of the infamous games that screwed people over.
Yeah, and I think I bounced it out with Orange Box. And I think that's the reason why I never finished Half-Life 2. Because I hit a point, it's like, oh my god, it ends with a 5. I'm done. I haven't played since.
I don't know if I evened mine out or not. Because I know that Mortal Kombat screwed it up and Half-Life screwed it up. I don't know if I fixed it.
Yeah, there you go. Mortal Kombat, I have 8. The Orange Box, I have 212. I was done.
Who does that? 212.
I told you, man. It balanced out. I'm like, I don't need to play this anymore. I wasn't even aiming for it. It just happened.
I approve. I gotta say though, we had an interesting chat going on. I don't even know what the hell is going on anymore. We got people offering to do our taxes. Those are some. I don't know. Those taxes are a little alternate fact for me. Now, moving forward, I couldn't even keep a straight face. I presented this question to a bunch of different groups that I'm in on Facebook,
right?
Just out of curiosity, and one of them was the Gamer Geeks group, and Tony Pisano from the Bites and Brews, I believe podcast, Bites and Brews podcast. And they do a bunch of different stuff. Said this is a long one, but it's worth it.
Okay,
so this isn't a real achievement per se, but it was an in-game activity that I spent way too much time setting up and executing. So when Skyrim first came out, I was hooked bad. I especially got super into the Dark Brotherhood story arc because I was always into stealth games and I was building a thief/assassin character anyway, so it fit. Once I ingratiated into the group and started taking contracts, I went off the deep end a little. Before killing any target, I would smith a steel dagger and enchant it with some kind of ice magic just so I could name the dagger after the intended target. I would use that dagger only to kill the mark and then leave one of each color of mountain flower by the corpse. I would then put the dagger away in a chest in my Whiterun home. Shortly after completing the Dark Brotherhood quest, I took a look back at my work, and I was a little embarrassed about how much effort I put into something that will never be seen by another player, and was simultaneously thankful that no one would see it, and figured out how much of a psycho I was. I've grown to accept my sanity at this point, which is why I'm comfortable telling you.
Wow.
Man, I did shit like that too. Like that's it's just for fun, you know. I would do something similar, except I would make, like in Skyrim, when you can finally start chopping off limbs, I would make sure that I would chop the limbs off, and I would arrange them in a certain order so they would know it was me.
That's when I realized I was demented. Chop limbs off the game, look at every single one of them.
Elder Scrolls games and Assassin's Creed games bring out like the most twisted side of me. Like I always had to do odd rituals before I did anything killing wise.
I think I'm just OCD. Like, I'll hide all the bodies in Assassin's Creed. I think
definitely do that.
The craziest thing I've done in an Elder Scrolls game was stand on the side of the mountain in Skyrim and spawn in cheese wheels until I crashed the game.
I mean, that's the classic. I think a lot of people did. The spawning too many objects, ridiculous stuff.
And Oblivion, I was stacking gold coins. I was obsessed with that because I like we say when we played Overlord, I love having a room full of all the wealth you have. But I was trying to decorate it. It's just they never worked right. And I spent hours just fucking around and then picking them back up. I don't know. It was a messed up thing. I'm actually looking through my trophies and achievements right now and trying to think of is there anything I got a trophy or achievement in I really didn't want.
Question: did any of you ever chase one of the gaming rumors?
Yeah, sexualities in Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3.
You fucking nerd.
Are you kidding me? I literally
I
got
that.
friends because of that. That's how I made friends because of that, because I was determined I could do it, and literally had about 30 people in my mom's guest room sitting with me on the floor because I had found the way to do it. The way to do it was I don't remember if it was GamePro or Electronic Gaming Monthly posted one of their April Fool's joke issues before I was smart enough to know it's the de facto way to do it.
Oh my god.
Oh, you're such a loser.
Yeah, a little bit. Hey, you know what? I had 4 girls in that room. I was like, four whole, girls.
It's like you totally got laid.
Yeah, at 12 years old.
I'm trying to remember what some of the other crazy gaming rumors were, and
Oh man, everybody had to chase that Lara Croft nude code or whatever that.
Yeah, or the.
We got to see those pine cones.
All those things.
It always revolves around boobs. The only one that ever satisfied. Mr. Shoot Larry. Love me some Larry.
Jesus.
Oh,
Love for sale. You can do all sorts of crazy things in that one.
I have 1 bronze in iPad.
Love for sale is a lot of stuff. What now?
I have 1 bronze trophy in iPad. I don't remember playing that.
What is that?
It was for PS3. It had to do with the PlayStation camera. I don't.
Oh, iPad.
Yeah, man, you got a little dog appears in your hand.
Oh yeah, I think I remember that. Oh,
I have the herpes achievement on Xbox 360 from Shadowrun. You only got it if you played it and teabagged the corpse of a developer or someone that had killed a developer and teabagged them.
I paid $100 for a game that doesn't exist as of 2 days from now, I think.
Landmark.
Aww.
Yeah. Okay. I got another one from GamerGeek. Steve Atherton wrote, mine was also back in the N64 days. When I was homesick from school, I taught myself to play 1080 snowboarding with my feet. No idea why, but I did that and I could beat my friends in races just like that.
Wow.
Like, it's just fucking weird
God.
as hell.
That reminds me of Super Track and Field. Holy crap. For Nintendo, like, it took all the... I probably hit the point now where you realized you can, like, get off the power pad, lift your foot off when you're doing, like, the long jump, and to just smash it down so you could, like, get world record. And that's when I realized how empty video game playing was for me. And I was like, oh, man, I'm getting world record. It's like, I'm cheating.
Oh, jeez. Let's see. There's another couple of really good ones here. Okay, well, here's one. We could make a whole entire list out of this just doing MMOs. But Rocklight from the Blue Ribbon Army group. When I used to play World of Warcraft, I did everything in my power to build all my weapon skills, including unarmed. I finally got everything to max when they decided to scrap the whole mechanics. Damn, I still get irate about that. All the time flesh on the drain, but at least I got a hand of rag. Lol.
I also maxed all my weapon skills, and
I also did that too.
It mattered, though. It really did. That last point was infuriating on every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, you in the chat right now are magic.
I love these people.
I do too. I'm actually. Let's see. There was another good MMO one. Okay. Then David, I'm gonna mispronounce your name. David Mashazek. EverQuest Ruins of Kunark was released in 2000. I created a Shadow Knight and was crafting cultural armor for weeks on end since no one else was doing it. I made the best armor, the Scars of Valus. The next release made it all obsolete. On the plus side, I worked my Kill on Sight faction so much I could walk into Felwith and Kelethin and shop. Players in Kelethin would actually run away as they'd never seen my race before and thought I was just a mob coming after them.
See, that's the kind of shit I wish was possible in MMOs still.
Yeah, like that's like the
people
classic kind of...
People being uninformed about stuff. And the developers are trying to get more and more stuff like that in these days, but everything's data mined and ruined before it's even hits the live realms.
By the way, Cow Site G, I'm going to say orange. That being said, no, it's a lot of weird stuff like that. Like I still remember playing EverQuest 2. It was the MMO that I think it was the second MMO I got Charnel into right after we quit Star Wars Galaxies. Most of our guild had gone over to EverQuest 2, and she was determined she had to play a Dark Elf. A Dark Elf was one of the evil races. Our entire guild was a good race. So she looked up how to switch factions, which was something you could do in EverQuest 2, and instead of playing with us, she spent like 100 hours doing quests to switch factions from the minute this is a quest you weren't even supposed to start until you were like mid-leveled or higher. She just started that at level 1, and she just became determined. I guess that's one of her things. And like, yeah, she switched over and then was so burnt out in the game that she never wanted to play again. And that was pretty much our whole EverQuest 2 experience.
And like, I was trying to think, do I have an MMO one? First I went Jedi Council, then, which also actually was awesome. But then I remember, a long time ago in a galaxy server far, far away when I did try to shoot lightning down on my ass, which was
Yep,
kind of how we bonded our friendship right there.
That is the beginning of Just in My Friendship, is spending about 90 minutes to 3 hours, somewhere in that range. We've talked about this before.
Oddly enough, in my mind, that was sparked from Braveheart.
Well, I could see the mooning scene.
It was not even that, too. Like, it was what we were talking about, like, you shoot lightning bolts out of Zarus. I'm like, I want to do that.
While we're talking about Braveheart has not withstood the test of time at all.
I still never saw it.
If you've never seen it, it's pretty good. But if you've seen it a million times, you start noticing things. Like how all the weapons are made out of rubber. And so you're watching the big epic fight scenes, and in the back there's two guys who are like hitting swords and they're like flopping around.
Back in the day when they used to play just overpowering music through the entirety of the film.
Oh, God. The classic days when there was nothing really going on in the film, so let's just play the music loud and play it proud.
Ooh.
Wait, he's about to say something, turn it down? Okay, he said it, turn back up.
I'm
trying
at
to come
a
up.
loss. I can't think of anything else.
No, like again, most of mine are just going to be MMO related things. I was going to cite, the Justice shooting lightning out of her ass. I mean, I could say stuff like trying to role play, the entire Jedi Council in Star Wars Galaxies.
That's where I came up first.
In the NGE, the new game experience.
Oh,
and
no, here we go. It was with the Jedi Council because I actually was striving to get rank. Fake content.
Like we created fake content, and when I mean, like our server was packed with people who created their own council, and like we got in fucking fights, like screaming matches with people because they weren't following the proper tenets of the Jedi Order and allowing people to properly rank up. I became the I was so happy when my master in the game was this guy. So remember his name to this day, K-Bad. I remember it because I ended up finding out after I quit the game that he lived near me. He was the best dueler on our server, and he taught me, and I became the best dueler on our server. And I remember all these details, like it was stuff that was known. And but I worked forever, to become this and to get to the rank of Jedi Knight. Like I was obsessed about it. Like took on a Padawan, actually instructed them and taught them. Like I was so into role playing. It was fucking ridiculous. Granted, I was at the lowest point depression-wise of my entire life, so that may have been a factor. But it was still, it was just the absolute most absurd insanity. And I look back now and I'm like, that was some of the most fun I had in video games. What a fucking waste of time.
It was, but we actually got a developer to help us out with an event, which is freaking awesome.
Yeah, we actually got developers to work into the event. Well, what else did they have going on? Their game was dying.
Yeah. At least they put a little life in it. Oh, God. And you mentioned depression and games and MMOs. You know what depression leads to in gaming? Second Life.
Yep.
That's a regrettable achievement, just loading it up.
I designed the stuff in Second Life. Thank you very much. No, Second Life.
I became a photographer in Second Life for some reason.
Yeah, I don't remember the details of why half of this shit happened, but yeah, you and what was his name? Idotio, Fluffy D, from Star Wars Galaxy convinced me to join Second Life, and I played that for a while. And Brad, I'm gonna say right now, our friendship only exists from Second Life because I could to this day remember being in Second Life. I could literally see where I was when Justin convinced me to play World of Warcraft. I can clear as day see the location I was in that stupid fucking chat service masquerading as a video game.
We need something to pull us out of the hole.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, furries and dicks and anything else that your mom doesn't want you to see.
Pretty much.
Or anybody should see.
Yeah. Does that still exist, by the way?
What?
Probably.
The Second Life still exists.
Second Life still exists. I was reading up how the Trump inauguration was going on Second Life.
Are you fucking... Yeah. That's actually pretty outstanding.
Online.
I didn't say I was proud of it.
Initial release, June 23rd, 2003.
Wow. Jeez, it's ridiculous. I'm trying to think if there's any other really ridiculous shit that I spent an inordinate amount of time or something like that doing.
Gorillas send you in World of Warcraft.
Wait, what?
The gorilla send you or some crap like that? I remember doing that damn quest. It will never drop. Back in the day, that thing never dropped. It took 3 hours for me to finish that stupid ass side quest.
The gorilla sinew in Strike of Val.
Yes, that
one of the most broken RNG quests of all time.
That wasn't broken. They did that shit on purpose.
Well, you know what I mean. Broken from a fan's perspective. Yeah. I can say to date that I have only seen Charnel rage quit a video game 5 times ever,
and that's one of them.
Oh no! She was rage quit our relationship over that because the second gorilla I caught, because Justin, weren't you doing that quest with us?
I think so.
Yeah, it was the 3 of us doing that quest. I got it on the second kill, and Charnel got so fucking angry that she just lost it. She just started yelling at me about the stuff. It actually dredged up all of these ongoing fights that we had never resolved. It was a probably the top 3 worst fights of our entire relationship over that gorilla sinew.
The gorilla
You have
sinew
looted
fight.
gorilla sinew, a small animal's eyeball. 6
Do you remember
years
the gorilla-
worth of angst and
One of the
anger.
biggest arguments we got into. Hold on, Charlotte's questioning this. You remember the gorilla sinew and Stranglethorn Vale in World of Warcraft?
We just see something fly and hit Josh in the face now.
She just said, no, I've moved on.
Wow.
Tell her I'm disappointed she didn't throw something at you.
Well, no, here's the thing. Charlotte
That's
doesn't
good
hold
watching.
She doesn't hold grudges about, like, anything, like, anything related to that kind of shit whatsoever. Actually, really about anything whatsoever. Like, I still remember that stuff, and she's just like, whatever. She's like a
So-
mature adult or some shit.
When I was growing up, I lived in a smaller town. We didn't have no internets or nothing like that.
Bye, golly.
But we had PlayStation, and we had Final Fantasy VII, and that is a single-player game. But me and a friend wanted to play together, so what we would do is we would role play as the characters, and so anytime any of the characters like had something to say, we would say it in like character voice.
Approved.
That actually reminded me of something. The first time I played Final Fantasy, I went out into the world when you finally get out of the city, and the first thing I did was fight the big fucking snake, and I died. So what I did is I leveled up until I could kill the snake. Hours and hours.
That just became your express goal. It was like, there was like this training montage.
I didn't know any better at the time because I hadn't really played a lot of RPGs. I played a little bit of 10 because I was playing 10 at the time with my friend, and he gave me 7 on PC. He's like, here's 7, play it. And I was like, okay, I've never played 7, but I hear it's good. And so I just assumed that I wasn't leveled up enough to get to the next point in the game. I thought I had to get past the snake.
Honestly, that is spectacular. And again, I miss the days of games where, like, if you turn left, you're going along the story path. If you turn right, you're just gonna get fucked up. And there's nothing to really indicate otherwise, except for, gaming experience.
Yep.
Long story short, apparently I probably need to play Dark Souls or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we both do.
There's a game, what is it? Outland. Was that the game I played at PAX West, Justin?
Outland?
Do you remember what that was? There was some game I played at PAX West.
Oh, the one that's kind of like Dark Souls, but multiplayer?
Yeah, it's sci-fi Dark Souls, but it's multiplayer.
Well, I'd say, okay, multiplayer, but you can actually, unlike Dark Souls, actually pick who you want to bring in.
Yeah, no. It's actually planned multiplayer. And you have the choice of split screen or not. Whether essentially they made it for streamers. We talked about this one of our PAX West thing, but they made it for streamers that you can actually, for online, turn on split screen. So people can see both vantage points. The game was like in super, super early, like, alpha point. But it was a lot of fun, and I played for a while and chatted with the guy, and then he mentioned Dark Souls, and I had to pause and I realized, so this is what Dark Souls is like, because I'd never played a Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne, any of that stuff. And I was like sitting in my own head, I even said to Justin later, I'm like, I really like this game, but I don't want to admit that I like a Dark Souls style game. Because, as we'll talk on a future podcast, illogical gaming prejudices, things you just won't play, despite the fact that as you get older, you would like. That's a topic we should do at some point. But things that you just decide, this is garbage, I'm never going to play it, and you hold on to that grudge for no fucking reason whatsoever. Because I could spend the whole show just talking about my stupidity in there.
That kind of grudge almost kept me from playing Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, I get that. I get that.
Well,
I mean, I have a strict...
Did you finish it yet?
Ryan, you're not done yet.
Oh, mate. No, still not done yet. I've gone on hiatus from that just because I've been doing other things.
Okay.
Yeah, I got so distracted with the Moogle Carnival, Moogle Chocobo Carnival, that I really want to quote unquote finish it, and it's distracting me from my actual quest of finishing all the content of the base game. But I'm not enjoying doing it, so I just stopped playing the game suddenly. Very rapid.
This is exactly what happened to me, actually.
It's like, I'm loving this. I'm gonna platinum my first PS4 game ever, Moogle Chocobo Carnival. Well, this looks like fun. Let's go look into it. And then 2 hours in, I'm like, I'm gonna kill myself. This is so boring, but I can't stop doing it. And there's a regrettable gaming achievement to end this, unless we have more.
Yeah, I need to go back to the carnival.
Here's a fun thing, spending 10 minutes trying to figure out how to load the goddamn carnival up. That was a fun achievement.
You had to download one of the packs.
No, that wasn't the issue. You have to hit the special button on the main menu. The press release I was sent literally said you have to enter your loaded save game and go to an inn. It literally said that in writing. The problem is that was a redacted, ended up being not redacted, a changed press release, but they never sent me the updated version. So I was going off bad information and eventually just had to look it up. Because I never quit. I literally, aside from when I beat the game, I had never, in 65 hours, I never saw the main menu past starting it because I just put the system in rest mode. So I'd never seen it again because the game never crashed for me during my actual playthrough.
I've had one crash, and I occasionally get artifacts when I go into Armiger mode, but I'm not sure if that's supposed to be there.
Armiger mode always gives me artifacting, so I have no idea. Some of the summons do as well. The summons, when they go into artifact mode, literally looks like the Assassin's Creed a cutscene is happening. Like, it looks like classic Assassin's Creed 1, and I instinctively always hit the X button, thinking I'm supposed to click it to change the cutscene, because Assassin's Creed 1 instilled that in my brain, and even though it's never happened in another game, I can't stop doing it.
All right.
Unless we have anything else, I don't know. That seems like a good.
I created the premise of Assassin's Creed off of a Metal Gear Solid board.
What?
So I was actually a big member of the GameSpot Metal Gear community, and this is back when Metal Gear Solid 3 came out. And this is when everything's going, everybody's trying to actually decide, oh man, what's happening? All the rumors, trying to dissect it to figure out what the story of the game is. And this actually split the forum into two groups. One was S3, kind of made off the program of Metal Gear Solid 2. One's called B3. B3 was Big Boss believers, just yeah, you're definitely playing Big Boss in that game. I was on S3, knowing it was a losing fight, but I wasn't going to go down. It was Solid Snake. I can't remember what the last part of it is. Anyways, I went back to Metal Gear Solid when they kind of mentioned, they actually talk about genes and how memory is stored in your DNA. So it's what if they figure out how to tap into that to get into Big Boss's memories through Snake's genes? As I imagine you're going to play the entire game. It's going to be Big Boss's thing. Be at the end, it'll be the end credit stinger. Snake wakes up, yeah, I know about the Patriots now, or something like that. He was using the machine to relive the memory through his DNA.
Huh.
So, when Assassin's Creed came out, I was you motherfuckers.
Does this God, I wish you could find that old forum post.
I can't. I'm gonna have to look it up.
It'd just be funny as shit. It's not gonna do anything for you, but it'd just be really amusing to see that. You know what I mean?
It'll be
that
a fun.
It's probably the Necronomicon. You just don't need to go digging for that.
You don't. It'll make a bad Twitter post and nothing more will come from it.
I get enough with every day with the Facebook on this day stuff, and I just look at, man, 8 years ago me was dumb as fuck.
Oh yeah.
So we've gotten close to our time. We did start a little late.
We've been going in Audacity for 50 minutes, so for the actual podcast start time, I think. I mean, we're good to cut it off. I feel I think we've kind of hit the nail on this topic.
All right.
All I can say is if you're listening to this or watching this later and you have your own regrettable gaming achievement, let us know in the comments.
Yes, tweet us. Let us know.
Tweet us. Let us know in the comments. And if you're someone who's sent me in responses, because I actually have a lot more here, and I didn't read it, tell me I'm an asshole. I guess I don't know. Yeah, well, I am an asshole, but thank you.
If you haven't played Resident Evil 7, go play that. It's very refreshing in that oops, I shit my pants kind of way.
Oh, I totally forgot we were going to talk about that quickly. But
yeah, neither one of you threw it in the doc.
Whoops.
Well, I can't edit the doc.
Yeah, I still don't know what's about that. I've looked into it, and again, I think I'm going to have to make a whole new system in docs because it's not it claims people can, but it's not just you. Thad can't do it either.
Well,
To quote Birdie from Conker's Bad Fur Day, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I mean, if you want to close with that, we could do quick impressions of Metal Gear Solid. Not Metal Gear Solid shit. Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, we can close
you
off
wanna
on
do
that.
that, or Ryan, do you have anything from our last couple weeks that you missed that you wanted to touch on with the Switch or games? you're looking forward to
Switch,
this
I
year?
am very, very guardedly excited about it. It may be cool. It could possibly suck. The only game that looks like it's worth a shit that's coming out with it would be Zelda. And while I love Zelda, I'm not as big a fan as some other folks. Games for 2017, I don't really get excited about things anymore. I've kind of jaded and cynical. I'm trying not to be, but I've been pleasantly surprised so far with Resident Evil 7. I'm sorry, I'm a big Resident Evil guy. I really am.
Okay.
And the first one I played was 2. Scared the pants off me. It was fun. The puzzles were crazy. Went back and played the first one. Same sort of deal. Played 3. Was terrified of this thing chasing me around that was very, very difficult to kill, if not impossible to. I played 4. They completely renovated everything, revamped it, gave it a nice action feel to it. It was great. They made 5. They went with the action feel, and they just hired Michael Bay to direct it. Same thing with 6. And just like with Michael Bay movies, it gets old. This one is definitely a really big breath of fresh air. Well, probably not the freshest of air because this place looks gross. Justin played it in VR. I don't know how the fuck he does that. Just because not playing it in VR, I almost shit myself several times. It's very atmospheric. If you play it on the suggested brightness settings, then you better expect to squint a lot. And I'm close to the end. It's not as long as I would like it to be, but I don't care because the story for it is there. The gameplay for it is there. It's kind of like if you were to mix Resident Evil and Outlast. Have Outlast with some more crazy guns because it's creepy as fuck. Yeah.
And that's a great thing to actually do. Like, Resident Evil was kind of... They pull a little bit from every horror game that's been coming out recently, being the first-person one. So, you see a bit of Outlast in there, you see a little bit of Amnesia in there. You definitely see some PT in there. Hell, you even see some Gone Home in there. Not quite horror, but you thought it was a horror game until you found out what it's actually about. But the fact that, they know that just doing nothing is scarier than anything else they could throw at you.
The only gripe that I have with it, and honestly it's not a gripe worth anything, is just how helpless you feel.
But that's the whole point that Resident Evil used to be, especially in the originals, because some people say that's why it was tank controls, because you're not supposed to feel like you have control of the situation.
Yeah, but that helplessness feeling is definitely a part of it. One of the big gripes a lot of folks have are the boss fights. I haven't had any complaints about the boss fights, other than they don't really necessarily always explain exactly what you need to be trying to do at any given point.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not hard to figure out if you just do it and die a couple times. Plus, if you're scared, I've figured out that after the first couple hours you'll be fine. But if you're really, really scared and don't want to do it, don't play cautiously. Just run like hell through everything and just die a lot, and then it won't be as scary because you know it's coming.
You kind of mentioned Nemesis, and they actually there's a touch of that in this game too. Except, I actually laugh when this part's happen because a Nemesis it's a big, towering, just freaking monster chasing you around that's burst through stuff. This one, somebody burst through stuff, but it's just a shirtless hillbilly going, "Yuck, I'm gonna get you, boy." I'm like, what the hell?
You gonna let an old man take you out?
But that's actually a cool part about the game too. You mentioned the boss fight. I'm not gonna mention exactly what it was, but it was. I'll say it's the first one. I'm not gonna say who you're fighting, but you're getting chased, or you kind of got to run around because I didn't know exactly what to do. And I actually ran in, I was trying to lead him through the doors, and actually ran close the door. It was looking at the door with my gun. I'm like, then I hear something start like breaking down. I look behind me, and the person actually came through the wall that was behind me instead of coming like all the way around through the door. So, like, and that's another part they add too. There's a little bit of alien isolation in there as well. But it's really cool. They took a risk, which they really needed to do, because we had to get far away from what Resident Evil was. I mean, you're not going to punch a boulder into a freaking volcano in this one. And it paid off. They definitely brought it back to the basics of what Resident Evil is, while still revamping the series in a really good way.
So, our fanboy opinion so far: play game, yes.
Yes, very much.
Play the game. I don't know. Whatever.
Just,
All right.
Just don't eat Chipotle beforehand.
Oh, we might.
Wow.
Okay. Well, on that note, Brad, you want to take us away?
They don't sponsor us. Fuck off.
What?
Jesus.
I will shit all over Chipotle. They won't even know about this.
You'll shit from Chipotle.
So, I'm sorry. Wow. As always, we thank you for joining us, be it the live podcast or the recorded version. We are here every Monday night at 9 Eastern. Twitch.tv/Constantly Calibrating. You can find all of our information online at constantlycalibrating.com. You can reach out to us on Facebook at Constantly Calibrating on Facebook, or on Twitter at ConCalPod. And of course, there's always our individual Twitters. I am at OG Xenos. Josh is at Bear Punch. Justin is at The Aging Gamer. And Ryan is at RyDaddyF. So, unless you guys have anything else to add, it's been quite an interesting cast, a little freeform. I enjoyed it. And we'll see you guys next time.
Clara! I'm gonna need you to stick these way up your butthole. Way up your butthole, Clara.
We bid you good sign off!
Free Rick. Hashtag free Rick.
Ugh.
The show's canceled.
Oh, man!
I mean this show, to be clear.
Yeah.
Okay,
Are we
I'm
stopping
gonna
now?
stop. Yeah, it's